How are we doing, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Rob. Tonight what we're going to do is we're going to go and find a nice park up. I've finished work for the day and we are going to go through a bit of a Q&A. I'm going to answer some of your most popular questions that I've been asked over this, must be nearly a year now, or coming into it now, the summer, of van life, and I thought I'd go through some of those questions. So stay tuned. So it looks like we've missed the sun a little bit, which is a bit of a shame. It's been so nice today. I've been stuck at work. But it's warm, which is nice. I don't have to worry about being cold tonight. The weather is definitely getting better. So I think it's going to be a very good summer. Well, I hope so anyway. So I've got my dinner. £3 meal deal from Tesco's. Well, it's £3.60 now. And then I'm gonna head off. I'm gonna eat this on the way, I think, because I'm absolutely starving. I'm in a place called Maniton. This place is on the edge of Dartmoor. I've found this on Park for a Night. It works on a £1 donation. That obviously is a little box somewhere, which I'm yet to find. And it was mixed reviews on Park for a Night. I don't think it would be suitable for large camper vans, which makes it very handy for my van because it's a lot smaller. But we're going to see if we can stealth camp here and not cause any hassle to anyone or get any attention from the locals. So we'll see how it all goes. But I think this is a good little park up for the night. It's on a little bit of a slope, but I've parked it so it's quite comfortable for my bed. Now it's got chilly, so I'm going to grab some sort of jumper and have a look round. So it's very, very quiet here. Nice church though. Let's have a little look around. All this way, middle of nowhere, and they've got a basketball hoop. Love that. So we've got various footpaths. Let's head towards Maniton Rocks, see where that goes. Right, I don't know how far I'm going to walk because it's late. Well, I say late, it's 6 o'clock. I don't really fancy a hike at this time of night, but I am curious just to have a little look. So I'm going to have a brief walk, I think, see what we can find. Little turret thing. Sitting there all on its own. Now it doesn't look it, but it is getting quite dark. I don't need a Blair Witch jobby going on, me disappearing, a long lost cameraman in the woods. I have no idea where I'm going. So apparently that's a footpath. What a view from up here. Literally, I can see the whole of Dartmoor. I think rain's coming, but what a view. Cost me a quid. So down there, just beyond the church, is the van. And then it's rolling hills. What a view. So, as we've got a really good view and the sun's just going down behind me, I think we can start the Q&A and answer some of your questions that you've asked me over all this time that I've been doing van life. And the first question asked a lot is what got me into van life, and it still comes up even though I've covered it in some of my videos. But what got me into van life is I went for a breakup and I didn't have anywhere to go really. I didn't really want to be spending huge amounts of money out on renting somewhere, so I decided to move into my small caddy, and that was the birth of the channel really. And I lived in that caddy for about 6 months, full van life for 6 months, and I was absolutely fine. I loved it. And then I decided to move into the T4 just for a bit of extra space, and I've been doing that ever since. So question 2, why did I choose smaller vans and why didn't I get something bigger and more comfortable? Well, the answer to that question is I actually had the caddy already, so it made sense just to use what I had, and it worked really well. I haven't been spoilt with a huge amount of space in a bigger van, so the caddy was fine. And then moving into the T4, it just felt like, you know, a castle compared to what I had before. And I found the benefit of smaller vans was they didn't bring any unwanted attention like you probably get with some of the bigger vans that are clearly camper vans. So I can keep, you know, quite stealthy, keep it to myself, and it doesn't bother anyone. And I've found that is an absolute blessing. You know, I don't park up in places that have huge amounts of people. It's usually just me, maybe a couple of others, but essentially I just keep myself to myself, and it just keeps everything on the down low, and it works really, really well. And I haven't felt the need to get bigger. So next question, what do I do for work and what do I do to earn money? Well, I've covered that in a lot of other videos as well. I do work actually full time. I work for a retail company. I wear a shirt most of the time, so you know, it's a job where I still got to, you know, dress smart and leave for work in the morning. And yeah, I've not found that a problem doing van life alongside my full-time job. In fact, it helped me in a sense that when I was working further afield, I could stay in the van a lot easier than having to commute to and from, you know, quite a lot. So it really benefited me. And because I work quite long hours, I didn't really need a place to live because I was never there. So it made real good sense to just, you know, live in the van, and it's worked really well. Of course, in one of my other videos, I was covering how I've earned money other than working, and that was through just doing match betting on my phone, which isn't gambling at all. It's a really good way of earning extra money, making extra money, and it's quite simple to do. So if you haven't already looked into it, definitely have a look into it and give it a try. Because I was very skeptical of it when I first started, which was during COVID, but it made me so much money in terms of extra cash that I just didn't have during COVID when I was made redundant. So check it out if you need extra money. it's a great way of getting some. Whether you can earn a full-time living off it, I don't know. Some people do, but it definitely gave me extra money in my pocket when I really needed it. This one I get asked quite a bit, and it's, what do I do for a postal address? Now, I'm quite lucky in the fact that my ex-partner at the time, when I moved out, because I look after my little one and my children, I still have a good relationship. So I was able to still use the old address for all my correspondence and stuff like that, which is really handy. But I have seen people use other friends and family addresses for things. Most things now are obviously done online. You don't necessarily need postal addresses. Obviously it does really help with things. So it's something that can be a challenge. I've seen people use PO boxes and things like that, but normally there's somebody out there that's happy to allow you to use their address. But as I say, I've been quite lucky and I've not had a problem with it at all. So this one, we get real personal. How do I go to the loo? Because I've got a small van, I don't actually have a toilet on board. But I do have a 24-hour gym membership where I can shower, go to the loo, all that sort of stuff. So that really helps. Obviously, there's loads of public toilets around. But obviously, other than that, I will use something in the van that is throwaway. So something that I can dispose of if I really do need to go for a wee. I can use that and then dispose of it the very next day. That's the easiest and cleanest way, I find, and that's what most people use. Some sort of cup or bottle, etc. in your van that you can use during the night and then obviously dispose of the very next day in a sensible manner. So this one, I've been asked quite a bit, do I make money from YouTube? Now, I monetized my channel. I monetized it quite quickly, but I was quite lucky that I just had one video that went off, should we say, and it did really, really well. And I was halfway through the monetization requirements when that happened, and that pushed me through to monetization. So I was lucky, I think, or else it would have taken me much, much longer. But it's just about being consistent on YouTube. Will get you to the monetization part of it. But let me tell you right now, you don't earn a lot of money when you first get monetized. Whether that changes down the line, who knows? But for the average Joe, I probably make 50 quid a month, maybe. Not a lot, not a lot at all. It's not enough to live on. I do YouTube because I enjoy it, and I love helping other people, and it can inspire other people to do similar things. And I've had a lot of feedback from guys who've watched my channel and been inspired to start their own channels, start van life. And I get a lot of emails from subscribers and people who follow me. And, you know, it's great to see that they are watching my channel and being inspired by the things that I do. So I'm really, really happy with that. And it makes it worth the while, you know, doing YouTube and committing to it. Whether it gets bigger, who knows? It would be great if it did, and I can do more of this, you know, and if I'm making more money from YouTube, the sky's the limit to the channel and the things that I can do. So let's see, and hopefully down the line that could happen. So this is a big one that gets asked a lot. How much does it cost to live in a van? Well, it depends from person to person. Personally myself, I've not spent huge amounts of money living in the van. I eat quite simply. I probably spend a little bit more on food than I could do. I could really, you know, cook my own food in the van, but I haven't got the space. But I do rely on a lot of things like offers, meal deals, go into Lidl's, and things like deals from McDonald's. Not that I eat McDonald's all the time, but obviously using their app you will get free food. I use that for free coffees, and it's a similar thing for most things now. They have loyalty cards where you can, if you use it often, you can get a little bit back, and that always really helps. But it doesn't cost me a lot of money at all. If I was to put a figure on it, I mean, I'm paying for petrol, but now I've moved jobs. I'm not traveling hugely. It's only when I'm going away to film that I use petrol, or should I say diesel. So yeah, it's a hard one. Obviously, I'm not paying rent, but I do pay other things. I pay towards obviously my children and other things, other bills, that sort of thing. Van repairs is probably the biggest. You need something there to make sure that you can do repairs when needed. So that's a big one. And if you add that in, it does add up quite a bit. But maybe you'd have those repairs anyway if you were living in a house or a flat. So yeah, it's a difficult one, but it can be as cheap as you want it to be. When I first started out, I got the basics. I got an airbed, chucked it in the back with my clothes, and that was it. And yeah, I wasn't really spending a huge amount of money at all. So it's definitely a money saver if you want to go down that route of saving money, not having to pay bills, rent, tax, all that sort of stuff. It's a great way to save. And yeah, I did it thinking that down the line I'd like to save for a deposit for a house, something like that. But so far I'm really happy in the van. Is it safe living in your van, and do I enjoy it? So let me get a bit closer, because it is getting dark and you won't be able to see me. It's absolutely safe, as long as you're not silly with it. Again, keeping to yourself, not making yourself so obvious, keeping it stealthy is absolutely the way forward. You know, making sure your park ups aren't absolutely secluded as much as possible, making sure there's other vehicles and people around you to a certain degree is definitely a safety aspect I would go for. But yeah, absolutely safe. It's just like once you lock the doors, it's just like locking the door on your house. No one's getting in your vehicle at night when you're in the house, so no one's getting in your vehicle at night when you're in the vehicle. It's as simple as that. So yeah, and I absolutely enjoy it. It's really great to just have that own space, own time to yourself, having that little place to, get away from everything, get away from the world. It really does wonders for your mental health. And, it is enjoyable, really enjoyable, and quite addictive as well, to a degree. Final question. What does the future hold for you? Are you going to continue in your van? Gets asked quite a bit, and the answer is yes. I'm going to continue in my van for the foreseeable future. If me and my partner get back together, we're going to live separate to a degree, and have our own space, because we both really need that. And yeah, I do really enjoy getting out in the van. I do want to add more elements into it. I want to get out and do a lot more traveling. In the summer, I'm going to get away quite a bit and get some good footage, maybe abroad. I'd definitely like to get a bit of that in if I can. And yeah, and some bike stuff as well. I've spoken about that before, but now the summer's coming, I do have some plans to get out on the Sportster and do some filming on that as well. So stay tuned to it. So that's the end of the questions. I'm going to head back down to the van while I still can and can still see where I'm going, because I'm not prepared to be stranded on the moor. So let's head back down. God, blimey. Filming and stepping down rocks is not a good idea while I can still see. And because it's really quiet down here, I could raise my voice up there a little bit, but you just feel like you need to whisper. So I'm going to be very quiet in the van tonight, I think, and do some editing and chill, keep to myself, and hopefully I won't get any knocks, because I've not had one yet. I don't really think people do that, but you never know. I mean, the good thing is I'm wearing red, so from a helicopter my body can be found. I should touch wood, that's not going to happen. So it does look a whole lot more eerie as the sun goes down. So I'm back at the van. I'm gonna keep quiet, and I've got snacks, mini eggs, and I'm gonna have a chilled one, and I'll hopefully see you in the morning. Fingers crossed. Well, I have to say, I had a very quiet and peaceful night. Literally not a sound from anyone. I got up in the middle of the night, and the stars looked awesome from here, and yeah, I haven't seen another person, haven't passed another person. It's been absolutely lovely. So if you are thinking of coming up here, there is places that are quiet, secluded, and where you're not going to draw loads of attention. Yeah, and this is one. So really happy with that. Great park up.